Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, Pop Culture Edition. Today we have a very special episode for you guys. We're going to continue. Can't believe it took me so long to say continue like that. Continue the bar series, talking about some of the new bars that we got to see. We're going to talk about a certain superstar's new album that just came out, and then we're going to talk about something very serious at the end that just happened on our day of recording on August 4th, 2026. We're recording on August 5th, so you'll probably hear about this about a week later, but it's a very important topic that we're going to hit on. So we have the pop culture expert with us, Miss Chelsea Heppert. How are you doing today, ma'am?
Good. How are you?
I am doing well. It's been a while since we've been able to update the little bar series. The first episode came out May 6th, and then obviously you were just on now almost a month ago, which is crazy, the ramen episode. And then now we're back with just you talking about a couple of the places that we've gone since that first bar one.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, crazy. So this one, we're going to talk about more two bars in particular, and then one that we've already talked about, but we got to go to it at a different time. The two new bars in question that we went to were Cobra and Understory. So, Chelsea, I will toss it to you on what you liked about each place, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So we obviously went, and it's been a few weeks now since we've gone. And in that time, one of the bars was recently named one of the best bars in the country, not just Columbus, but
Mhm.
within the whole of the US of A. And that would be Cobra. So we're just going to dive into that one. So we went on a Saturday. We've talked about this in other pods, but they had a parking lot, which was top
Mhm.
tier. And then they also serve obviously food and really, really nice cocktails. So we split, I think it was the loaded fries,
Yes.
which were super, super good. We didn't get any other food, just because that was where we were starting out. And then we got a few different drinks there. Their drinks are very unique, which I appreciated. And it was just kind of fun to try new things. The vibes were really cool. It was seat yourself, but at the same time, they had somebody like greeting you when you walked in. I'm sure to kind of control the crowd, maybe. But it was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, and the award you are talking about is the won Best U.S. Restaurant Bar at the Tales of the Cocktail Foundation 20th Annual Spirited Awards on July 23rd. So just about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
David Yee, he's the managing partner of Cobra, told Columbus Monthly the competition was kind of like the Oscars of the bar industry for that's good for us to know as well. Honors
That
excellence
is,
among
yeah.
beverage professionals and establishments globally with both international, national, and global categories.
So it was great. The food was good. It's in like a really cool location downtown, so you can kind of beep bop everywhere. We saw a group who was in town for a wedding, we assume, because there's like a church right up the street. So I'm sure they were getting pre-reception cocktails or something. And then we actually saw somebody that we went to school with, which was funny. From like a distance. He was there with like some of his friends. And then it was just like a cool crowd. People were definitely there more for like a lunchtime rather like than a daytime drinking evening. So we got there at, I would say, an appropriate time, but it would have been cool to see like what it was like in the evening, like what those vibes were, you know?
Yeah, and from her to like actually then because we got like an appetizer, so I wonder what like a real food
Mm.
like item tastes like, because obviously that's part of this
Right,
award. So that's
right.
something for the next time. But no, that's kind of crazy how we just went to that bar for the first time, and then at the end of July, it's over here winning basically the Oscars
For their business,
for their business.
which is really, really cool. Um, and it's, I think, also super important. Like Columbus does have a really cool bar scene. And I think that just means that we're going to continue to grow. And Columbus is also like one of the hubs for restaurants in general, specifically like chain restaurants. So it's just interesting to see how like the food and the culture are shaping Columbus more than anything else at the current moment.
Yeah,
You know?
it's just again like you said, in the fact that it is Columbus, Ohio. Obviously, it's not like the smallest metropolitan in the country, but it's not like in the top three, four, five ish metropolitans. So the fact that the Oscar winners from here, like you have to really excel
Mm-hmm.
in your craft to beat some of these, higher end named places that are in like a New York or Miami or Los Angeles, like or Dallas, like, and you're beating all those places. And it's
Mm-hmm.
funny because this thing from reading, Cobra was a finalist for this same award for best new cocktail bar in 2024. So if you're up for the best new one in 2024 in the new like category, but then you win the overall thing basically in 2026 in 2 years, that is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, it's awesome. And kudos to them and everything that they stand for. And it was just really, really great. I'm excited to go back and get some food, like additional food besides the fries that we got, because those were fantastic. Um,
I would
but no,
also
I loved
say
it.
with that too, just looking at this is, even though we have not had any of the real food, but just seeing this is a big plus. The full food menu goes until midnight, and then the late night menus open until 1:45.
A
That is because most places their full menus stop at like 10 or 11.
right. And that very well could be like their summer hours and it changes. So
Hmm.
make sure you guys check out websites or menus before you go if you're planning on eating late.
That's a good pro tip. That is a but shout out to Cobra. The other place that we went to was Understory, which had a very cool building design.
Yeah. So we went to Understory, which is a really, really cool outdoor, indoor bar slash restaurant slash wedding venue slash it was an old school back in the day. So you can rent it out for events and things like that. But they have a beautiful like patio down below, which connects to a trail, which is really, really cool. But they also have a very cool lounge with a craft cocktail bar.
Mhm.
And it was really, really pretty and just very like intimate and cozy. And it was poppin'. So we sat at the bar, um, which I always like. Like it's fun to watch the people make drinks. It's fun just to chat. Like, I don't know. I like it. And we got many a different drink. Um, and I remember getting, I think it was like gin and raspberry something or another, and it was really, really good. And then we got food from here too, and it was great.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, just the day that we went was a very popping day, so we were kind of regulated to just like sitting at the bar area, which was fine because I think there was a wedding and stuff going on, and you see like places that get blocked off because of reservations. Parking wasn't too bad. I mean, we had to do a little street parking because again, there was a wedding, so all of
Hmm.
their cars were taken up shop, and the walk wasn't too bad from where we walked. Bathrooms, gotta talk about that. They were pretty good bathrooms. There, no horror bathroom stories from this place, and like you said, drinks were good, food was good. Only
Hmm.
thing, wish could have explored more, like on a non reservation day, like
Yeah,
to be able to sit
yeah.
on the outside, like that would have
The
been nice.
patio. It would have been really, really nice. I think it, like, if I'm remembering correctly, it did look like it might rain, but then it ended up not.
Hmm.
So that was also kind of part of it. But their lower patio is stunning. So I do want to go back and explore that. But the vibes were really, really cool. I've decided that this location specifically, if I ever find somebody to get married to, this could be a spot where I get married because it was really pretty and cool. And the food and drinks were good. So
Yeah.
shout out to Understory. Um, and truthfully, the walk to our car, honestly, I needed that. I was tipsy.
And then I'm gonna say another plus that we were able to do because it was so close was from Understory. We were actually able to go to the place that we've talked about before in the last episode. We were able to go to the bottle shop, but this time we got to go in prime time, a prime Saturday night.
Yeah.
And and I've only gone earlier. I've never gone like Saturday, like 8, 9, like
Evening. Yeah.
prime Saturday evening till 11, 12, or however long we were there. So this was my first time going that super late. Well, not even late, on time, quote unquote, for the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was different because man, there was a lot of people, and we were still able to, because we've been at this for a bit, strategically get a table and go from there. But there was a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was a whole different vibe. It was still fantastic. I actually went a few weekends ago with some of my friends too. So clearly it is becoming one of my favorite bars. Um, but I don't know, there's just something about it. And I think my biggest downfall of that evening was the fact that I had been drinking like gin all night long and then switched to wine because we were there. And that did me a little dirty later on, but it was worth it because the wine is super good. And I'm assuming he's the owner. I want to say he is. If you get a flight, he just like talks you through every single one. And he brought out like his laptop with a map of where certain things came from. And I felt really bad because I was way too intoxicated to be like, yes, I know where that is in southern France. Um, but he was very knowledgeable and very kind and very patient, and the wine was great. And 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no, it was a good spot. Good to see like just the night atmosphere and the groups and how busy it can be if you're trying to be there on a good Saturday evening with good weather. And I would also say, just again, I know we've talked about this place before, but if you don't know what wine you're particularly into, I think the easiest way is just getting a flight and then just going from there.
Yeah.
Then you
And
can make your
then,
own decisions after.
and speaking of decisions, if you are somebody who wants a drunk sig, this would be the place for you.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to add.
There was only going to be one other place I was going to personally shout out because I was personally there. Level 2 at the Put in Bay Islands because I've been there before. It was my first time going back in a couple of years, and it was completely revamped, and they had a lot of things that I personally like in a bar. One, if you know you're one of a popular bar, two sections where they serve alcohol is fantastic.
Hmm.
Like right in the beginning, um, right in the front there, they have the bar. Then in the back, they have a bar. And then in the middle, they have the Jello shot like location. So that's obviously like that's three levels of where you can purchase so you're not too crowded and there's not lines aren't too long, especially on a Saturday night. And then you have across from you have seatings, and then you have like the dance floor, like the dance floor section. where you can go there and it's very easily accessible in and out. And then there's also a VIP section all in the way, way, way back. You have that, two big bathrooms, and it's right next to a super big lot where if you're getting picked up, it's pretty easy to get in that lot and get out. And then, yeah, I would just say, obviously, security was pretty serious. Like one way in, one way out, so they're directing the flow of people coming in and out, and metal on. So just and then DJ was pretty good. So just wanted to shout out level two because if you're expecting a lot of people, having one bar is just crazy, and you're sitting there waiting forever. But having two with multiple servers at each,
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. So I had
And
to
weren't they
shout them out.
playing like fantastic music too?
They were playing really good music for like all genres. No one DJ is like perfect by any stretch and can't play a song that everyone like dances to it all the time. Sometimes it's like, you get like six in a row that you're dancing to, then it's a song where you're like, I'm not really feeling to dance. So then you can go walk out, get your drink, and then turn right back over. Shoot, that happened to me. I forgot what song. I was like, all right, now I can go get something to drink, and then like just because I was starting to get more packed, by the time I walked to the back bar, almost there, then like a song I really liked came on. So it's just you do the robot turn and then go right back to the dance floor.
Like you were summoned.
There were some songs that summoned a lot of people, and the DJ was playing music till you have to run past two, all the way till two and I think the bar was serving till past two as well.
Nice.
So no, they did really, really, really well there. So just wanted to shout them out.
And where was I, you ask? Asleep.
Yeah, just down.
Down, drooling, cozy, as snug as a bug in a rug, or whatever that expression is.
Yeah, and I was out there with anime expert Cedric Ware, Captain Byron Mitchell, anime contributor Nikki, EVP of the L7C, Justin, and then there was, I guess fan L7C fan Patrick, but I guess, but it was mostly Nikki, Nikki, Byron, Justin, Cedric, and myself.
It was the boys' night.
We were there the whole way because all of them know they know my one rule.
You're out, you're out.
If I'm out, I'm out, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts or in betweens. So and to think and just obviously the podcast will not know, but even when that was over, this partying still continued on. So it was definitely a time that Saturday. So
Hmm.
for transitioning from that to some music, that same weekend, this was for anyone who's been following the L7C on social media, you knew last week had content galore coming out for all the different stuff that happened. Spider-Man reviews, game review, Spider-Man previews, game previews, the SummerSlam previews. Like there was a lot of things that we covered that were being hit last week. Another thing that did come out from this pop culture side, a certain album by a very certain artist that you guys all know here, Miss Ariana Grande. Her new album came out the Friday we were going to the island, Petal. So just my first time listening to it was when I was driving Chelsea, and also the My Hero Enthusiast. Again, this was like a whole L7C thing. Andrea to the island. Chelsea, that was Chelsea's second time listening to it.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
My
just
final
in
answer is yeah.
so just in general, how did you feel about the album? What did you like about it?
Hmm.
And then we'll talk some Grande.
I very much enjoyed it. It kind of gave Dangerous Woman meets Slightly Unhinged meets kind of what I think she needed to put out after obviously Wicked and then Eternal Sunshine. Like it was very, I don't know. I enjoyed the album. I think it was one of the more like open albums, so to speak, in terms of like she was letting things off of her chest and getting certain feelings out, which was nice. And it was also like it was just really good. I enjoyed it. My favorite songs off of it are Like I Do, Bad Thing, the Bunny Hop song, whatever. And then Oh Well. Oh Well is really good too. Oh, and Stay. I like Stay too. And Hate That I Made. Basically, I like that album. It was great. I enjoyed it. What were your thoughts listening to it? Because obviously, when we were listening to it in the car, I was kind of singing along to some of them. So,
No, no. I really liked the album. I think my from first listen, I think my favorite song was it? I think my favorite song was "Stay" from my very first listen. I don't know if that will change after like my second, third, or fourth listen,
mhm.
but at my right now, after listening to it one full through, was "Stay." "Stay" was my favorite one. And again, man, I think anytime you're not going to be disappointed. And I know, I guess I'm being homerish here, but then my homerish will change when we start talking about her more. You're not going to be disappointed with hearing her sing. Like that's just
No,
not. It's not going to um
happen. Like
happen.
she is one of the voices of our generation, like talent wise, but also production wise, because she does produce and help do all of the cool things with her songs that some artists don't do. So she it's really fascinating to see how she constructs a song and what is like what she does in the studio because it does get released and it's cool. So yeah, she definitely is one of the voices of our generation.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think too, if because if I do remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, please. This is her first album post Wicked. Like 'cause she was locked into Wicked 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, and Eternal Sunshine came out during Wicked. Um, it was kind of a surprise for everyone, including her, I think is what she said. Like she was just kind of in the studio and making music. But this one, I think I saw something where they recorded some things within like 5 months and got it ready really quickly. But like truthfully, you wouldn't be able to tell that. Um, it it's a very quality album. Like I've very much enjoyed it the few times that I've listened to it.
Yeah. And I would think too, with her now, and unfortunately, most of this is to her own detriment, is that when
Mhm.
you hear her do a project or you see her do a movie, shoot, when we were in Spider-Man, I was like my third time seeing that trailer for her about to be in like the new remake for like Meet the Fockers. Now it's when you see her and she does any project before you, which is terrible generation, you think about the two sides, the two arguments for her now. One, obviously, which is terrible, her body.
Right.
Um, that was just she just talked about that in Petal. Um, talking about the commentary about her thin appearance and how these news articles come on every. I just saw one today about allegedly people having an intervention with her because of how like skinny she has gotten compared to what she was in like before,
2016.
pretty much before Wicked. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that always like that's the first one, and we'll say that part. And I don't. I mean, for me, looking on the outside, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to know like her body has significantly changed from like her 20s to her 30s, which that happens to a lot of people. And it's just now, since I'm not one of her closest friends, I don't know if it's changed from a safe perspective or if there is something wrong. Like,
I mm, I
and you
am
don't
not
know.
a
But
health. I'm just gonna say, like, I am not a healthcare expert. I grew up in the early 2000s, and I think what you're seeing is very much anorexia, which is
mhm,
a disease. And it 100% could be there's something else going on that we don't know about, similar to Chadwick.
that's where I was going to. Like, you don't want it to
Right, like
get to that point.
you don't know, but I think, and again, this is all speculation based off of public facts and my own two eyeballs. Like, she is wasting away in front of us. Like, her
Yeah,
body's deteriorating.
yeah,
And her team put out a statement today saying that she was athletic. And athleticism comes in many different shapes and sizes and formats. But what her body is going through is not a sign of athleticism. And eating disorders, they can be born out of trauma, and we know that she has experienced trauma, whether or not it's public knowledge or whatever, between her time on Nickelodeon, the death of Mac Miller, the Manchester bombing, and then again speculation, but whatever happened on the set of Wicked, because there had to have been something that triggered it. Like, she's not in a healthy spot physically slash mentally.
yeah. And I agree. Like, I do agree because it's again one of those things that's where when you get to a point where when you're famous or whatnot, and again, I'm not judging her real friends or whatnot, but a lot of the people that you surround yourself when you get rich and famous are people that are on your payroll. So they obviously don't want to say anything about you because they want their free handout.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when it comes to a point like, hey, we need to talk because like what's going on? Like we notice X, Y, and Z and we're worried
Mm-hmm.
about you.
Yeah. And we don't know the full side. Like, I'm sure members of her team are talking to her or getting the help that she needs. I would hope that members of her team are. It's just, it's very alarming to see somebody in that space be where she is.
Yeah. And I want to make it clear too, because fandoms can take things in different ways. This is obviously not coming from a malicious intent, like not one of those people are
No.
like, oh blah blah blah, you skinny, this. Like this is from a like, hey, we're fans as well. We see the drastic thing, like
Yeah.
I shouldn't be able to I don't care how good my TV is, I should not be able to see your rib cage. I don't care how good my TV is. Like if I'm seeing your rib cage from a TV, high definition, whatever, and all, and you're thousands of miles away, I can only imagine what I'd be able to see if I was up close.
Right. Right. It's heartbreaking, and you want her to succeed because, like, we all grew up with her.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird time. And unfortunately, like, this is a blanket statement. Like, she's not the only star to have recently lost a significant amount of weight. I think she's one of the most famous and easily pinpointed ones. So to your point of like we're fans, like 100%, and we would be remiss not to acknowledge that there are other celebrities or influencers who are getting tinier and tinier. So there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Agreed on that. And I guess again, the premise of her thing, like we've talked about it before, like obviously with body and beauty standards, it's changed throughout history. This is not from a body and beauty standard standpoint. This is from a health and safety standpoint. That's where we're talking from, not the
Yeah.
body and
Yeah.
beauty side. We're talking about from a more health side because I think
Right.
that's more fair.
And just like you being obese is a cause for concern. Like your family and
Hmm.
friends would
Yeah.
be concerned if you are morbidly obese, just like your family and friends would be concerned if you are on the extreme other side of it, where you're underweight and malnourished, essentially, is what it is. So, from either side of the spectrum, like you have to be healthy.
Yeah. And then the other side, I mean, of it because of fame is, I mean, her relationship track, like seeing this and reading what I'm about to read out loud is absolutely bonkers because I don't care if you're a boy, a girl, a they, alien, whatever you are. Moving like this is mad. Like this is truly mad. In the past 5 years, Ariana got married, divorced, entered a secret relationship with her co-star, got with a married man who had a baby on the way, left him and got back with her ex within 5 years.
Yeah.
That is just, I don't care who you are. Like, I have certain moral standards. That's awful. That's gone awful. And I do wonder from a, from like we were just talking about, from a health thing, juggling all that shit and doing all that shit, plus being Ariana Grande is probably effing stressful.
Yeah. Like, I, no, thank you. I would like to be famous in the sense of I want money to be able to go shopping and pay off student loans and get a new car. But like, I don't want the world in my business. They don't need to know who I may or may not be dating. They don't need to know about me to that level. And there's different boundaries. Like we've talked about it before with Taylor Swift and
Hmm.
other celebrities of just because they're famous doesn't mean you know them, nor
Yep.
do they owe you certain things. And like boundaries are a healthy thing because people just get what's that? Oh, what is that term? Like parasocial or whatever,
Hmm.
where they think that they know the celebrity and like they're friends.
Yeah.
And like that's not true.
But I would say, so if she was my friend, and even though her life is her life, I'm be like, hey, you're moving kind of crazy. Like,
Oh yeah.
because for me personally, any song that she ever sings about, like, oh, the girls, this and this, I'm gonna skip because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You do not practice what you were preaching. Like, you do not. Like,
No.
you truly, like, you don't care if it's your best friend's man, your sister's man, your co-star, whatever's man. You have proven it that that is, you don't care.
Hmm.
So besides like being super close, bro, I mean, and like you haven't trusted, if you don't have 100% trust in your partner, you can't bring him as a friend of Ariana Grande's around her because she'll be like, oh well, I don't care.
Yeah.
This is my best friend for since third grade, and then they'll break up, and then you'll be the one kicked out of the friend group.
Uh-huh. It's very
Which
like a high school stereotypical girl who just like dates everyone for the attention.
and does
You
not
know?
care, does
Yeah.
not care. Like it could be like, and look again, obviously, from a legal, obviously, cheating is not like you don't go to jail for it. Like it's not like a crime against humanity type thing. It's more of a moral and
Yeah.
trust thing, obviously. But
Yeah.
if you cheat on someone, it's like, hey, you're not going to jail, you're not going to prison, you're not getting a life sentence, all of that. You just lose trust within your things, and it could take a life. It can literally take a lifetime for it to be
Right.
garnered back. But cheating with I don't want to differentiate cheating within people you maybe not know. Like, okay, still bad. But cheating within your friends, like ever since we talked about that thing that last time with the co-star, like within your friend group is absolutely absurd. And again, you're a grown adult. You made those choices. He made
Mm-hmm.
those choices. So hey, I can't fault you. I can say if it was it couldn't be me, but if you're
Right.
gonna make those choices and then you live with those choices, fine. You're adults, but it's
At what cost, though?
like I say, even dating within your friend group is bad, but cheating, that is crazy.
I would say, because people like me in all sorts of ways. I don't think dating within your friend group is bad, but when you start, like the friend groups who are incestuous, that's when it's bad. But like,
I would say it's bad because there's once they break up, both never stay. One
yeah,
one one automatically leaves, and we've experienced that 10 years ago. So from a personal,
yeah, we got custody over one party.
yeah, like that's what I meant. Like there's never been a time in my life that within a close, unless they get married, but then now we'll tell our fans we're at the point now where we see more divorces already than marriages within people that we like went to school with. But it's like, yeah, if it's a group that hangs out all the time and then two of them start dating the next month, then you get the text like, oh, we broke up, and then you're just like,
Well, there
and then
goes
one, yeah,
brunch plans.
one instinctively just stops. Even
Yeah.
if no one says like you don't have to stop, but like one stops and then they just don't hang out anymore.
Hmm.
So then it's just like, was it really worth it? Because now it's like, all right, no. And we haven't even like we've never reached the ultimate DEF CON of dating within a group and they get married and divorced, or dating within a group and there's children between them and they get separated. Like that's hell on a whole different,
Yeah. I hope we don't experience it.
because then you're going to two different friends' birthday parties, and that's just,
That's ass.
yeah, that's a new hell.
Yeah. I don't
So
know. Only time will tell.
that's just like, it's almost the same. Like obviously we've had discussions about like people dating at work, and me, I'm more of the you shouldn't know. You should not if you're on the same team. Absolutely not. Like the same like little team or like
Yeah.
supervisee. Absolutely not. I can hear you if you're different departments across the way.
Across the Put-in Bay.
But if it's like you have a core four that you work with every day and you're both on the same team, no, no.
Mm-mm.
Because then once you break, especially if because again, we're in the age where people break up over, it could be small things, big things, and it could just turn into ugly arguments. And it's
Yeah.
like, if can you imagine going to work in your core group of four, two of them were dating and they broke up because one of them cheated. Then they're doing projects. You're like, I can't work with this person. I already know they're a cheater. And then see, it's this awkward. Then someone's got to go.
Man.
Or within the friend group, if one person cheated on the other with another friend, oh my goodness.
Lordy Lord. Just don't cheat.
Well, unfortunately, we're at the point where cheating
The-
and divorce is as common as the cold. It's a common cold.
These hoes ain't loyal.
It's it's unfortunately the truth of it's the truth of the matter now. It's a very common thing, and it's crazy because when I used to be younger, I thought it only happened like one every 100 episodes per a Friends or like a Will and Grace. It's like, oh, people ain't cheating like this. And then as we've gotten older, especially in the 2020s, oh no, people are cheating left and right. Like it's not even they don't even consider it cheating anymore. They're just
These hoes ain't loyal.
yeah, they're just that song was 10 years too early.
Like, man, kids these days.
Yeah, but again, check on your friends. I mean, we've all we've all witnessed nefarious activities from our
Nefarious.
from our friends, and it's between your friends, so you just keep it amongst yourselves. But it's like, hey, we saw it, you saw it, we saw you were talking to this, we saw
We
that
saw
and
that you
that.
saw that we saw that you did
Exactly.
this.
So it is what it is. And then I think we've talked. I don't know if we did this on a pond, like when we began, but we did talk about like, all right, if at what point do you tell a person like, hey, you need to tell the person that you did X, Y, and Z, or we're even at the age in 2026 where it's just like, that's your effing business. You go do what you want to do. I don't care.
Right.
So that's that. All right. To end the pod, because I was actually kind of quasi serious as we were talking about relationships and all that, but this is actually for the viewers. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're just listening to this on your earphones on in Spotify or wherever, this is actually a very, very serious topic. This is actually going to bring up some very, very serious stuff. So just want to give the spoiler alert with that. And this very, very serious thing actually just happened yesterday. Like I said in the opening, bright as yesterday can be. It was actually around, let me actually look because I think it was actually around this particular time. Yeah. And this was brought up yesterday by you, 8:49 p.m. So almost an hour. Yeah, almost 24 hours
Mhm.
where this happened. Obviously, you listen to this podcast, pop culture. This is what we talk about on this section, pop culture. Obviously, a pop culture news reporter, icon, influencer, whatever you want to call it, person who's reporting this since me and Chelsea were little children, Perez Hilton.
Mhm.
If you're into pop culture and you heard that name, you probably know what happened yesterday. Chelsea was the one who brought it to my attention. I saw his name was trending on socials, but I didn't think anything of it myself. I just thought it was like, oh, it's just he might be breaking some news
Mhm.
about someone or something.
Yeah.
But when Chelsea sent me that text around basically around 9 o'clock yesterday saying, real talk, have you heard what Perez? And I was like, no, I see him trending. I haven't clicked on it. And then you said that one of your closest friends told you that some real stuff went down with him. And I was like, all right, well,
Investigate.
let me investigate. And then when I actually saw the pictures and I actually watched the video because it was deleted off of TikTok. But again, we've talked about it for almost 5 years going. Nothing is ever deleted off the internet. Someone's already screen recorded your shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the truth. But 10:41 p.m. Tuesday night, dispatch call came in for a suicide attempt at 40 East 48 Miami address. Multiple units, including fire, responded to the active police scene. Additional units were advised to stand by. The reason why would you think they were doing that? It's because Perez was rushed in the hospital after live streaming. And I promise you, yes, live streaming appearing self-harming video in the his Miami home. And obviously, you guys know Perez, he's Caucasian. He is white. When I watched the video, he was redder than an apple because I couldn't believe what I was seeing, what he was doing. Again, disclaimer, very, very serious stuff. He had basically had a knife when he was cutting himself on live TikTok, across his entire body, blood. Like again, this is like a pretty white dude, and like he
So
was
he's
blazing
actually Cuban. Just
Cuban. Thank you for the clip. So Cuban white passing.
yes. Either
Okay.
way. Yeah.
Yes. So so to be politically correct, Cuban but very white passing. If you didn't know his heritage, you would just think he was a white guy. But he was crimson red. So just to think from that standpoint, how much you have to cut yourself to get crimson red, and also too, he was naked on the stream, on the TikTok stream, just cutting himself all over his body,
Hmm.
saying like he was hoped the police came in and killed him and this and that, and just seeing all of all of that jazz. And then there's another thing I wanted to say before I pass it on to Chelsea because I do have a an unfortunate thing I do want to say about him. One moment. Yeah, he was a lot. Yeah, one, it wasn't like a baby knife. It was a butcher knife.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, covered in blood, cutting himself, saying he was doing it for his kids. And yeah, so before I keep going, because I have a lot of thoughts I want to say on this, Chelsea, you're the
Hmm.
one who your thoughts on again, this is kind of he's kind of one of the apex of basically what we do on this.
Right. But we are kind, whereas Perez back in the day was very, very much not kind.
Oh
And
no, no.
when, and again, like these are just facts.
Hmm.
When other celebrities were going through mental health crises, he profited off of it
Yep,
and exploited it.
yep,
To be quite frankly, it was not from a perspective of talking about mental health in general.
yep,
It was very much, oh, Britney Spears is off her rocker. How can I exploit this and essentially make fun of and get clicks and views? And yes, I recognize that we are actively discussing this on a podcast right now, but I for us, like it's very much about it's pop culture one, just because of the nature of who he is,
yep,
but also the fact that regardless of who he is, like something like this happening on a major platform, unfortunately, is a harsh reality of the world that we live in, with it
yep,
being the internet. We're in the age of the internet.
yep.
So like we would be remiss not to talk about it anyways, and acknowledge it. And like I'm not a mental health professional, but we do have friends who are, or who work in similar fields or work in law enforcement, et cetera. So like there's different tones and understandings there too. But all of that to be said is that I got a phone call last night from one of my friends who saw it. And coincidentally enough, I saw Brianna Chicken Fry post something on TikTok of just Perez and like how she was concerned. And I thought it was just like, again, a silly video or something like that. So I just scrolled past. But my friend told me about what she had seen, and I have not watched the video, nor will I. But it was one of those things where she was like, oh, I watch some of his content sometimes, and it was live. And when you like sometimes click on TikTok and you get into a live and it's kind of hard
Hmm.
to get out, that kind of happened. Um, and so unfortunately, she saw it and was subjected to that. Like, and it's one of those things, and we were talking last night, where I think as a culture and society, we become desensitized to certain things on the internet because we think it's either fake or other. And like we grew up in the time of like Tumblr,
Hmm.
where shush, Reese, sorry, my cat, where like mental health, whether it be physically hurting yourself or whatever, like it was kind of the aesthetic, if you will. So sometimes I feel like that can come back, especially on social media today. So it was just like alarming to see. So we talked about that. But like the major fact is like no one consented to seeing that. Like oftentimes, if you're viewing something on social media, there's typically a warning when it is something that is like a major event that might be graphic that the world should see, i.e., war crimes, i.e., other incidents similar to that nature, which viewers could find disturbing. And it's the same thing where like if you were to turn on the TV and watch a very heavy Law and Order SVU episode, like there's that warning ahead of time and like you are willingly clicking yes, like I want to continue to watch it. But this was unwarranted, like popped up and something like so scary that you just couldn't look away, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's the problem. One of my problems is that we talked about all the people who are just sitting there. Like I didn't watch it like obviously I watched it off a screen recording of someone sitting on Twitter. But like for the people who are watching it live, just sitting there at their homes, maybe in their PJs, eating some midnight, well not midnight, evening snack, like what are you doing?
Right. And
Well,
I think those people like were unsuspecting. Like, and then it's one of those things where you can't look away. And I know that people were calling 911 or triggering TikTok and flagging it because eventually TikTok did pull the video and pause it and ban his account.
yep.
And the police were called. But it's one of those things where, I mean, you see it in certain movies where they explore the premise of people watching terrible things happen. And it's also very much like a study where, like, if you call for help or say call 911, no one actually will.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's beyond movies. That's
right.
unfortunately for what I
Like,
do. That's
right.
real life, which that's where I guess I was getting more well, that part was more triggered on. It's like everyone's just waiting for someone else to call, so they're just gonna sit there and not
Right.
do anything. And like you said, luckily enough people did that. TikTok is like, why are we getting so much like stuff about Perez? And then they go, whatever, look at his comment, they're like, oh, okay, what the F?
Right. And like there's people that monitor things and
Hmm.
watch for those types of flags. But
Hmm.
I just, if I had seen it, I don't know what I would have done, but I can't imagine. I just can't imagine it. Like it's scary because people go on the internet for various reasons, but unless you are that deranged, you don't go actively looking for that type of content.
Hmm.
And then on the flip side, like people aren't making that kind of content or content aside, like doing that to themselves for fun. Like it's a cry for help. It's very much they need mental health help or other help, and they aren't either getting it or they're not taking the right steps. So he actually is being held on a 72-hour hold from one of the articles that I saw in the New York Times. And hopefully he is able to have long-term help and medication and everything, but like the impacts not only on like the people who are bystanders who saw it, but also on his own family, like I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and the other thing, that's what I was like, obviously his attorney's already spoken, and when we were talking about it, I was like, there's no way his like team is not like getting this stuff because we were talking about who if you call 911 and all that stuff. I was like, there's no way his team's not getting all these notifications. And obviously his attorney's already spoken and this and that. And the other thing, and I really hate to bring this up, but a spade is truly a spade, and you actually brought up a spade. Back in '06, '07, when Brittany had her stint, and like you just said, Perez was talking, I mean, he was talking crazy about her, and she lost her like custody of her kids and things of that nature. He has three kids. And again, I'm just calling a spade a spade. If you thought Britney Spears in '07 should have lost her kids for the stuff that she did in there, there's no way you think Perez should have custody of his three kids after today.
Right.
They should not go home to him. They should go to next of kin, or I don't know the situation with the kids' moms or mom. I actually don't know anything of that. But you can say like all the shit he was talking about Britney, this is a million times worse.
Yeah. And to your point, like I think it was 2010 or something when he was like, I'm not going to bully anymore. But that it should have never happened in the first place. And he is not the only one. We've talked about it in pods about Brittany, about Lindsay,
Hmm.
about Paris, about literally everyone. Like the and yes, the times that we live in now are a little bit are a lot a bit different. But the fact that he, along with so many people, have made their money based off of bullying like that is wild. And then it's just a bit ironic to ask for privacy during this time. It's not unwarranted, and like you absolutely do deserve your privacy, but it's just ironic that his team is putting out a statement asking for privacy when he was exploiting literally every celebrity he could.
Yeah, it's really easy to ask when it's you.
Right.
When it's you, because I mean, I'm just looking at it from just my like professional perspective. It's like, yeah, I you can't even if the kids are older now, not a chance. Like wherever he's at, like they're at now, they got to be with like again next of kin or mom or close friend or whatever. Because if their dad was doing that live on TikTok, like
Right.
there's obviously something going on that he needs some
He needs
help or
support.
yeah, he needs help and support and ooh, excuse me. Hopefully they do a toxicology report on him to then
Right.
see if he was under any of the influence. But then if he's in the illegal stuff, that's a whole other case. Like if he did have cocaine or any other type of pills or
Meth.
hallucinogens, meth, and then that was mixed with there's nothing that does people in more than, from my life experience, drugs and a mental health breakdown at the same time.
Right.
He's honestly lucky the police came in what he did because he didn't make any. He was cutting himself, so he didn't fatally stab himself in like any arteries or heart or neck, because then I mean he would have been dead, and then that's a whole other thing. He gets a chance to live, and I mean
Figure
just because
out.
figure it out,
Yeah.
and he's gonna talk. He'll talk about it once his team have a carefully crafted
Yeah.
whatever, because that's what they do. But I just, again, like you said, like he was talking all this stuff about Brady, and so I was like, bro, I don't know if you should ever get your kids again doing what you just did, because this is a million times worse. And I don't ever want to hear you talk about anyone crazy like that ever again, because now your kids have to see that this video is forever.
Right.
Like, eventually, someone's going to send this video to your kids because kids are cruel. Sending, like, oh, this was your dad, butt naked, redder than a strawberry, just cutting himself, talking crazy, wishing the police to come and kill him. So what? So he can have suicide by the police? Yeah, like, he would definitely following this because he has a lot to answer to. And obviously, his biggest thing is getting himself healthy for his kids. But you can't
Mhm.
talk about anyone crazy ever again.
No. And like in that same vein, like again, speculating, it could be recreational drugs, it could be prescriptions like that can mess with somebody. It could be none
Yep.
of the above. Like we're not going to know until it's released.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, the fact that it was on live like that, I think is the most
Yes.
disturbing and traumatizing aspect of this.
Yes.
And it's heartbreaking just for the people who saw it and may have been triggered and like either like they've struggled with self-harm or mental health or like Reese, I am having a very serious conversation right now. Or if you like you're the average person is empathetic and if you see somebody hurting themselves like your heart goes out to them
Hmm. Yep.
and you could be the strongest person but to see something like that especially if you don't work in the health
Yep.
or police or whatever fields like
Hmm.
if you work in banking if you work in retail or whatever the case may be like that is a very alarming thing to see so I just hope people take the time to reach out and get support if they need it and then take stock, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It's really, really it. Chelsea, anything else? That again, we said that we were building towards the very serious topic, and I think we did that pretty well. Anything else you want to add on that?
Obviously, not mental health experts, so take what we say not with a grain of salt, but like take it for what it is. And then on a lighter note, Lollapalooza just happened, so it was live streamed on Hulu, and I need to watch a few artists' performances. So we will probably do a much later pod about that. But I do want to tackle just concerts in the music industry, especially like the summer music industry, because we haven't done a pod on that in a minute. Because I think there's a lot of interesting albums that have come out slash are coming out, and I'm just excited to talk about that.
Yeah, and then just for Lollapalooza, another thing that was happening the last week of July. Um, Charlie XCX, Smashing Pumpkins, Olivia and Dean, Tate McRae, and the X. Again, just yeah. So we'll definitely can talk about that later on. I mean, obviously, you are also going. Spoiler alert: you are also going to a concert, relatively soon. Not like next week, but in like a month or so. Um, so we'll definitely talk about that. The My Hero
I am.
enthusiast, aren't you? Isn't the Pitbull concert next month?
Oh, that's in September.
We're in August. That's next month.
Wait, you're right.
Yeah, that's next month.
Well, I'm going to Pitbull next month. Dale.
There actually, and then actually, I was asked, there actually is another potential concert pod from the My Hero enthusiast, Andrew Alanis, because she, in a couple of weeks, is going to the BTS concert.
Oh.
hmm So on the 16th. So
And then isn't this the time frame of when they normally announce the halftime performer for the Super Bowl?
yes, because the NFL, their first preseason game, their Hall of Fame game is actually, we're recording on the 5th. It's actually tomorrow on the 6th. So it'll be
Go
preseason. Then,
sports.
yep, NFL starts September 4th through like the 7th-ish around there. So yeah,
Hmm.
we'll get it soon. It'll be announced. I mean, currently, if you're a betting person and you want to go bet on it, the current betting favorite is Justin Bieber. Obviously, these things can change on a drop of a dime. So we'll see how that goes. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to L7C podcast. Like Chelsea said, we'll be back talking concerts, talking some summer stuff. We'll also be back talking some more bars because I've seen that you guys really like those episodes. So we'll be back talking about some places when we figure out our next going day for places. And then from that being said, thank you everyone, and we will be back. Take care. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.